Hello, welcome to yet another episode of the POFcast. My name is Minagano Kape.
And my name is David Vincent.
And today we're joined by the Minister of Peacebuilding in Jonglei State, Honorable Malual Gabriel. You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm Honorable Malual Gabriel Kon, the Minister of Peacebuilding, Jonglei State.
Great. We're so honored and happy to have you today with us. And we just came from a meeting, a workshop that has been organized by the Jonglei State Government. If you could tell us what was the meeting all about and what are some of the outcomes of the meeting?
Thank you. We had a one-day consultative meeting facilitated by the RSRTF partners. And this meeting was called for by the government of the state to address the issue of mobilization in the counties. The meeting mainly focused on de-escalation, and of which we spent the whole day on deliberating on strategies that can help the state government and the partners find a way of de-escalating this situation in the 7 counties of Jonglei State. Mainly the counties of Greater Bor, the counties of Greater Kobo, and Ayot County, which have been hugely affected by this conflict. And we are grateful to our participants who came up with key strategies, and the meeting ended successfully.
Awesome. So, David, you were part of this meeting today. What are some of the points that stuck to your mind from the deliberations of...
I think before I could mention what are the points that have come, I think a big appreciation to the state government under the Minister of Peacebuilding, Honorable Malual. I think it's a great initiative that I think if it's also replicated on the GPA side, because we are talking about how we can de-escalate violence, is in particular the armed mobilization by our young people. And this initiative is it's a government-led initiative. And they are being proactive. And this is some of the things that we really need in terms of the government proactiveness in addressing some of this. So for me, that was quite key. And I'm very grateful, Minister, for leading this conversation. I think part of it was quite important, although the governor spoke mainly in a very classical Arabic, but I think his address was really on point. And that really stood out for me in terms of acknowledging the difficulty that the government is facing, especially in reaching some of very hard to reach areas to engage some of these youth, because some of these youth sometimes they go into a lot of very, very, very difficult situation. We can't get them. So it was quite interesting for me to see that. And some of the resolution, I'm very sure Honorable Minister will outline them, and we see how practical some of these resolutions are. But I think we have reached a very good conclusion on how we can move forward and de-escalate violence in the Greater Jonglei.
Yeah, and I also like how the women also came out pretty much clear about some of the issues that they think, or some of the strategies that they think can help address these issues in the Jonglei GPA area. And one of the participants, I think she's a member of parliament.
Yes.
She was really strongly speaking on how women can be at the front line in terms of to address issues of abduction of children and women, which I think...
And I think, Honorable, maybe now you can outline really what were the key outcome of these, and what do you see now moving forward once the meeting now have ended?
Yeah, we got clear resolutions from the meeting, and one of it is that there should be a formation of a committee, and these committees will be formed for the 3 greaters of Jonglei, that is Greater Kobo, Greater Fangak, and Greater Bor. And the main reason for this formation is for us to reach out to our counties in the northern Jonglei and disseminate messages of peace, and also de-escalate this mobilization. We understand that there are ongoing attacks in our counties, but we say the youth will only act on self-defense, so they should not mobilize to go to different counties or to the greater people administrative area. So this is key in addressing the mobilization. Also, we came out with a clear point that the spiritual leaders should be engaged their respective areas, especially Prophet Makwai Tut, Prophet Tut Yok, and Dakwes. So these committees will go to the counties and also reach out to the spiritual leaders. We talk about the strengthening of the ICGS so that they can also act as people who will help the government in de-escalating the situation. We also talked about establishment of a communication system, which especially for areas that do not have network, we are looking at alternatives of using the Starlink to provide internet service, whereby if there's information that needs to reach the government, they can quickly reach the government for intervention purposes. So these are key. We also talk about the long-term programs such as the road constructions and then also creation of buffer zone. And we also talked about disarmament, comprehensive disarmament. So these are key in addressing this cycle of violence.
Honorable Malual, accountability, I think, has been a question that has been tabled over and over. From the Jonglei side, from the GPA side, everyone seems to be calling for accountability. And we understand that there are challenges surrounding this question. So what are some of these challenges? And what is it that the government can be able to do to ensure that there are steps to ensure that accountability is given to some of the victims?
It is crucial to hold the perpetrators accountable, but the situation that we are in could not give room for that. Number one is that we do not have a justice system in our counties. We do not have judges. The only people that are in the counties are the chiefs. Last time we talked about formation of mobile courts that will support the chiefs. But till now we haven't formed the mobile courts due to resource issues. And then I think it's challenging in a way that the youth are armed. And once you go to them and you come with the point of arrest and all this, they might turn violent. So we are trying a very peaceful approach until disarmament is done. When disarmament is done, it will be very easy for us to deal with these criminal activities and we will be in position to hold them accountable. But as per now, they are very powerful. And with lack of roads, the government will not be in position to forcefully arrest them. This can only be done after disarmament. And I think with the mobile court, if we get resources to establish that, it will also help try some of these cases that involve child abduction and cattle raiding.
Oh, that's really good, Honorable. We will switch in a minute to see what possibly could happen on the GPA side as well. Because a lot of the efforts you are doing are from the Jonglei side, but in this conflict dynamic, we really also need to see. But I wanted to come back on this idea of really government exerting power or taking control of the armed youth. Because one of the frustration which I think has been shared with my partners that some of this mobilization, when it is start, we all know when it is starting. Is it? I know the issues of the government having the resources to be able to move to those places. What do you see, or what can we do really in terms of stopping this mobilization when they are really starting, so that no one actually goes? What are some of the things that the government needs support with?
As I stated earlier on, the government is willing to take full charge of its citizens, and it's the responsibility of the government to protect its citizens. So our challenge as a state government is the challenge of logistics. For us to reach the northern counties, we only have one means, that is to use the air assets. And the air assets are very expensive. We can't manage to hire them. So we always rely on our partners.
That's right.
But unfortunately, of recent, promises were made, but the promises did not materialize. So unfortunately, this led to the unfolded incident that happened. But if there are resources, then we are willing. We can go talk to our youth. These are the communities that we come from. These are our brothers. These are our sisters that are being abducted. So we do feel the pain as well. So all we want is peace for this greater Jonglei. But with issues of logistic and other unforeseen circumstances, this is whereby you see government not acting on time.
I really agree, because before you come in Minagano, what Honorable Malual said, I think it point out our shortcoming as partners as well, especially when there are key issues around security that needs to be addressed immediately. And if the partners, we don't provide the means. For example, as you stated, especially when you want to reach the northern part of Jonglei, it's not easy to travel. You have to travel by air, and the government doesn't have the means. So then it becomes our problem as partners. Why are we not supporting the government to achieve this? Yes.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what you say. I think also as partners, we have sometimes these bureaucratic systems that cannot respond in a very quick manner when issues like this arises, which I think it's something as partners that we need to really also sit down and question ourselves and see how we can be more flexible in our approach and we can be able to support in a more timely manner. But I think it also comes back to the point of being able to anticipate some of these things as government or even as partners, because I think we already know that as we are moving towards the dry season, chances of mobilization is always high. So this is something that has been happening for years and we already know. So maybe a conversation that we need to have together with the government in more details is how do we prepare even before reaching the dry season, so that as partners we prepare ourselves, as the government they can also be able to prepare themselves and anticipate the different needs that may be required to address some of the issues that may arise. I think that's a very important point. And also from the meeting that we had today, there was also a lot of conversations around and recommendations on collaboration between the two governments of Jonglei and GPAA. And I remember there's one recommendations that the governor of Jonglei or the government of Jonglei and the government of GPAA should leave the towns and establish their headquarters within the borders so that they can be able to deal with some of these issues hands-on. So what do you think about that recommendation, Honorable Malual?
Actually, the government of GPA and government of Jonglei State have been working closely together with regards to information sharing and also in terms of coordination. But the challenge here is that the government of the border administrative area do not have control over the youth. So these youth that comes to our state in small numbers are the ones that triggers this mobilization. They come, kill people in their villages, abduct children, or raid cattle, and this gives a bad image to the youth of people, and their government has been communicating it clearly to us that we cannot control them. That these youth are armed more than the government in GPA, and they don't listen to the government. So the challenge here is that the government of GPA needs to be helped. Our problem in Jonglei is not that we cannot control our youth. Our problem is logistical problem. How do we reach to the youth? That's the problem we have. If we talked about moving our administrative headquarters closer to the borders, it also needs resources. You cannot move a government institution without establishing a new one. So this is also a challenge. But I think a quick solution is the clearance of the roads. If the roads are constructed, like remember back in the years, the Juba border was one of the dangerous road to use. But after construction of this road, now the attacks are subsidized. So we just need to focus on infrastructures. Some of these issues that put the youth in this situation is connected to infrastructures. If there are no health services, no educational structures in your county, you will become vulnerable, and the only thing you will be thinking about is to rob others. And this is exactly what is happening in GPA. There are no schools, no health facilities in most of the counties. So these youth, they become wild, and the only choice they have is to raid or to abduct children. So we are in collaboration. What we said in the meeting was that the governor of Jonglei and the chief administrator of Pibor should come together.
Yes.
The two governments sit together and then come up with a comprehensive, consolidated position that will bring us a makeable solution to this crisis. And after that, they will go together and brief His Excellency the President of the Republic, so that this can give hope to our citizens that the two governments are working together to address this issue. So this is very, very crucial. And as Minister of Peacebuilding, I will work closely with my counterpart to ensure that this meeting happens, and we find other practical solutions that we see can at least address this situation.
I really like that, Honorable. Especially, we've been, as partners, we've been trying to call when an incident happens. We always encourage a joint statement, either from yourself and your counterpart, Honorable James Nicho, where if the community see you shoulder to shoulder, condemning whatever situation, doesn't matter which part. I think it's quite important, and I like the idea. If at all the governor and chief administrator meets, I think it would be quite good. What do you see? What do you want support from the partners for this meeting to be able to take place? Because it's a very crucial one.
Yeah, actually, we will collectively discuss this with my counterpart, and we will need resources, because again, to go to people or to come to Jonglei needs air assets. The venue for this meeting to happen and accommodations and other needs or funds that can facilitate this program is a challenge, and this will only be done by our partners. So as a government, our position. It has been 1 year now that even we could not pay our civil servants. So, and for the government operation, it comes with the payment of the salaries. If there is no payment of salaries, that means there's no operation fund. And we do not have resources anymore coming from our counties, because our counties are affected by climate change. They are flooded. We have 9 counties, and out of 9 counties, 6 counties are underwater, severely submerged by water. So there's no economic activity going on there that can generate revenue for the state. So the only county that is a little bit safe now is Bor County, and maybe Akobo, and maybe Nirol. But Nirol also now is flooded. So our county commissioners are battling floods. There's nothing like resource generation activity ongoing there. So this is a very big challenge for the government. Sometimes for them to conduct their activities, they need these funds. So if the partners can support us as quick as possible, we will be grateful, because this will be the position of the people of Greater Jonglei. It will not be like, okay, this is the position of government of Jonglei or this is the position of government of GPA. It will be a comprehensive document for all of us. And it will be our final say as to government. And then it will be blessed by His Excellency the President.
That's great. I may ask just one question before we can move towards closing. We've talked a lot, obviously, over the years about these sporadic attacks, these constant attacks that are coming from GPA. And this is what angered the youth, as you have mentioned earlier. Often the response from GPA is that these are criminals. And if you have seen over the years, I think we've progressed slightly to the point where there is no mass mobilization. Indeed, these are 5-10 people, young men who go and raid, abduct, and kill people. I agree that. Now, what do you really think, or what can you offer as an advice to the GPA to resolve this? What would be, if you were the minister on the other side, what would you do?
Okay. Leadership. You cannot be a leader when you don't have roots. I don't know how it works in GPA, that you become a leader and you're disconnected with your family members or your community. I understand, as a son of Jonglei State, I have a county that I come from, and then I have a tribe that I come from, and also a clan that I come from. Before coming to a top position like this, I must have that link
Yes.
in my clan. And then from my clan to my community, which is at the county level, before coming to Jonglei State level. I don't think if this channel is there in GPA, because the politicians are educated and they live in towns. But this youth, they have been living in the villages the whole of their life. So there's no linkages between the town government and the youth at the grassroots. If I was a minister at that side, I will spend my whole time at the grassroots. First, to make them understand that I'm part of them. And that's why I speak the same language like them. Second is to tell them that this is not sustainable. You cannot survive always on cattle that you raid. You cannot survive on child abduction. You need to find an alternative livelihood, especially going for fishing and selling your fish in the market, or you go for agriculture, or you go for other businesses in town, instead of being killed over cattle that you don't own. So many youth have been, killed because they go to raid. And, raiding comes with its consequences. So such situations can only be, contained or addressed by closing the gaps. There is now a very huge gap between government and the youth in people. The first thing that the government needs to do is to reconnect with their communities. And from there, they will be in position to address some of these youth issues. Because I don't think if these youth that are in the bushes even come to the government and say, this is what we need in our community, they don't ask the government about their rights. What they know is where to attack next. Where is it that we can find cows? Not where is it that we can find basic services. And that's why most of the counties do not have schools or health facilities, because they don't even know the importance of this. So to me, if I was in the government of GPA, I would suggest that these youth should be taken to National Youth Service, of which I can even request the national government to support me in that, so that these youth can be trained to be responsible citizens. Instead of them killing people along the roads, They should be trained to become carpenters or medical staff. They are capable. They have the energy. They have the wisdom that they can do the manual job with. So it's just a matter of bringing them together, mix them up with youth from other states, and they become comrades and colleagues. So from there, the tendencies of cattle raiding and other negative thoughts will move away from their minds. So it's a long process, but this is the way to go. If we want peace for our state or for our country, we have to invest in this youth. Thank you.
Yeah, very, very interesting topic. I think this is one topic that we can talk on over and over, because I think when it comes to the role and how youth can be helped across South Sudan, there's a lot that needs to be done for the young people all over South Sudan, because I think it might not only be the case of GPA or Jonglei, but young people all over South Sudan needs to be supported with livelihood so that they can be able to take care of themselves. You have tapped on we're about to close this. I think you have tapped on a very important point on the gaps between the government and the community that they're supposed to serve. But also I see like sometimes it seems like there's also a disconnect between different levels of government in terms of collaboration. I just want to, because in the meeting there are issues around how can the national government come in also to support the state government with some of the challenges that they're facing. So Minister Malual, what are some of the key issues that you like in this current situation that the government of of Jonglei State is trying to address? How can the national government come in to support you if you're to ask for like top 2 or 3 things that you think if the government of or that the national government step in, it can help to address some of the challenges that you're grappling with? What are these things?
First, uh, you know, every strength of every government is security. And if the national government can improve on the security sector or do some reforms in the security sector and carry out comprehensive disarmament, the rest of the things will be very easy to handle. The issue here is not about the youth or the government. The issue is about the arms that our youth are carrying. If we decide that we should collect all these firearms and then we leave our communities with no firearm, government takes control of protection, and then the rest of the issues can be solved gradually. Because now, as a county commissioner, you cannot stop this youth because they have firearms more than you. So if you try, and then they can even kill you.
That's true.
All right. You can see the situation that happened in Boma, where there were shootings and even a general was killed by the youth. So this is the problem we are facing as a country. It's not only the problem of Jonglei. All these killings that are ongoing on the roads, it's because of firearms being possessed by everyone, you see. So it's so challenging. If we don't disarm our citizens, we will face a lot of challenges in terms of development and in terms of addressing issues to do with the criminal activities. So this is number one. Number two is education. A country cannot prosper if it does not have human resource. The youth that are killing themselves today, we will think about them in the nearest future when our job markets are taken out by other people. Because if you don't have competent people, definitely the outsiders will come and take up the roles that are supposed to be for the nationals. And where do you think we will get people from? These are the people that we are leaving to die now. If we take care of them, they will go to school, and then tomorrow they will take over where we left. You see? So I'm worried about the future of this country. Without education, we will go back to 20th centuries. Every neighbor of ours is now in the 21st century, and we are still in the analog world. And the world is advancing in technology and in other aspects. We can only achieve this when we make education mandatory to everyone. So, and also you cannot perform if you are not healthy. Health services should reach to our people. Road connectivity is very important so that people can move, people can interact. Two of you come from different states. Now we know ourselves. If I find you on the road, will I kill you or will any of you kill me? No. It's because we have been interacting. Our people have confined themselves to their states and counties. Even within Jonglei, some people don't go to the other county because of fear. They think if I go there, I will be killed because people are not moving. There's no interactions among our people. So if there's road connectivity, like the Bo Road is a good project that is helping our people now to get services and also to get connected to other communities. So these tribal sentiments are due to lack of interactions and exchange visits, because for someone like me who had been to Pibor several times, if I find someone from Pibor in town, we will definitely interact and become family.
Yeah.
And this is met greetings in the local languages, and like the way we interact with James Nick show.
Yes.
Okay, Jankot,
Yes.
Jabe.
Jeve. Soil. Is the same like
It's the same meaning. Okay, and then sometimes I call him in Dinga range
rain.
means
Leave.
leaf. If you call a youth that is in the village whom you have never interacted with one day that range, he will definitely fight you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they don't know that these are normal things. These are normal jokes. So this is the situation we have.
I just wanted to ask one. I don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
There was one proposal that we need to build a great wall or Jonglei, similar to Red Wall of China. How realistic is that?
Anyway, if this was between two different countries, I will say, okay, this can be possible, because if you realize that these are not your brothers and they're disturbing your peace, you need to find solution. Like the speaker said that the Mongolians were disturbing the Chinese, so the Chinese built a Great Wall of China. They did not build it for tourism, by the way. They built it for self-defense. But now it has turned into a tourism site after the conflict. So even in the United States of America, there is a fence between Mexico and America because the Mexicans are disturbing the Americans. So, but we are a family. There's no way we can lock our brothers out from interacting with us. The only thing we need to do is to disarm, construct roads, provide basic services, and we will peacefully coexist. By the way, there was one honest Murle guy that talked to me after we had a meeting in Juba. You know, I have friends from that side, and we were interacting. So he said, "You, the Nuer and the Dinga from Jonglei, there's one thing you need to know. You people are the ones that are educated. You people are the ones that are in government. You people have health services and educational structures all over your counties. We, the Murle, we are left behind.
Yes.
It is you people to educate us." And then I responded, "My brother, number one, you people rebel and said, we don't give you chances." Moreover, the Minister of Finance and the Deputy Governor and even the Speaker was from your two counties. But after you become an administrative area, you were supposed to provide these services for yourself. Are you doing it for the people of GPA? The issue here is not that when I have problems with my brother, I abandon him and then I move my own way. Let's sit as a family and then we address that.
That's fair.
Okay? So he told me, you need to give us teachers. We have schools, but there are no teachers.
Yes, absolutely.
I told him last time we gave you a doctor. After the incident in Bor, you killed that doctor. So how do we continue helping ourselves here? Whereby if there's a situation in town, if there's a situation in the village, you kill someone in town. This is very unfortunate. It also happened last time here in Bor, whereby the Murule traders were killed. This is also not good for us.
Good.
If someone trusts you and comes to your territory, why do you have to kill that person?
That's true.
So these are other things that we need to work on as the government of these two greatest.
Thank you. We're concluding, but I want us to tie it to today's meeting that we had. What are the immediate next step that the government of Jonglei State is going to take to make sure that the outcomes of today's meeting they can start implementing it?
As you heard from the participants before, actually the participants are the ministers and chairpersons of independent commissions and the members of the parliament.
Yes.
They are the government of Jonglei State. And they made it very clear that we are not going for Christmas. We will go to our counties to de-escalate the situations. And it's because they want peace. They don't want their people to kill themselves. But now the challenge is, do we have the logistic support? If we don't get the air asset, and then this will drag us back. If we don't have the funds to facilitate these committees, it will also drag us backward. But if we get this fund on time, especially with your support as partners, and then definitely our people will go to the grassroots and ensure that they de-escalate the situation, and also plan on how we can have peaceful coexistence with our neighbors. So I think all this is aligned to the funds, availability of the funds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Honorable Malual, thank you for joining us today. It's been awesome having you around. And for our listeners, you can check us out on POFSS.org, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at POFcast. Thank you.